It is time for Cougar Conversations, and this is a special one. We're calling this the National Tournament version, and I am with some pretty excited players of our MVNU men's basketball team. Does anyone want to tell me why you're so excited?
Made the national tournament, baby. Let's go. Whoop, whoop.
All right. Yes, they are headed to Montana. Have any of you ever been to Montana before? No? Okay. I never have either. But they're headed there to play on Friday night. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to introduce to you the sophomores that we have. Tell you what, why don't we just go around the room here, the Zoom room, and you can tell us your name and what position you play on the team. And I'll say your name first so that you know who can go next. So Carter, you go first.
Carter Pline, and as for position, I play wherever they need me, anytime.
Depending on who you're playing and what's happening in the game.
Right.
Okay, Clay, you're up next.
I'm Clay Hilliard. I go by as a big guard, being 6'1", 170. So.
Okay. Cade, how about you?
Yeah, I'm Cade Rucksager, and I usually play point guard. So.
Eric?
Yeah, I'm Eric Uzinski, and typically I'll play a forward spot.
Okay. And Milton, you have quite a unique story. Tell us.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to play in a couple of years due to a couple different injuries, but when I am out there, I play point guard as well.
Well, we're excited. I had to ask Milton, which of the classes did you want to join? Did you want to join the sophomores or the juniors? Now tell us why you're in the sophomore class, because that's exciting news for Cougar fans.
Yeah, so due to the injuries that I've had, I am fortunately able to retain some of my eligibility just because I haven't been able to play. So I'll be around in Mount Vernon for the next year, couple years. So I'm excited.
All right, we want to see you back on the court. And we apologize, but we don't have Justin Salas with us tonight. He's also a member of our sophomore class, and we want to give him a shout out as well. All right, guys, first of all, who wants to take this question, or a few of you? Tell me how it felt. I know you were at Coach's house last Thursday night. How did you feel when you saw Mount Vernon Nazarene University appear on the bracket on the screen?
I think I speak for a lot of us when it was just a lot of raw excitement. We knew our chances of getting in, and we were just happy to share in that moment with each other after everything we've gone through and done together this season. So I think there was just a lot of emotion and excitement with it.
Okay. Is this is the first time that any of you have gone to the national tournament at the collegiate level, right? Okay. So can you share some insight with us about how you're prepping for the game on Friday now? How are you getting physically and mentally prepared for this important game? Anybody want to take that?
Well, we've been having practices. So we lost against Grace. Coach gave us a little time to go home and enjoy our families. But for the past week, we've been grinding it out in practice. So today has been our off day, and then tomorrow we got practice at 3:30, and then we'll practice a little later at night to get used to the time difference out of Montana.
Okay, so you were able to take some spring break time the first week because MVNU has 2 weeks of spring break, but then you've been back, you said, all this past week practicing together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take us through a typical practice. Is it any different now heading to the national tournament than it was during regular season?
I'd say, traditionally we just kind of keep practices the same. This year we've been really emphasizing the idea of just like a process-driven mindset. This tournament, is obviously a big deal, but, we've been focused on our process and coming into practice each day and being extremely focused at a high level. So I wouldn't say, there's anything that's been different being done in our practice. There's definitely a higher level of intensity and a higher level of focus, but it's just about us coming in into practice every day and just trying to get better.
This is Cougar Conversations, and we're talking with the sophomores from the MVNU men's basketball team. You know, I've talked to some of you in Cougar Conversations through the season, and you've talked a lot about how your team has seen growth over this season. You've grown together as a group. You've really improved on the court, and your record shows that. Can you tell me one important lesson that you have learned this season? And I can hear from a few of you. Clay, how about you? What have you learned?
Well, Milt kind of touched on it a little bit, but just owning our process every single day. It's very easy in the middle of a season to just kind of catch yourself going through the motions now and then. But having that laser-like focus throughout even the littlest details, the littlest when it comes to recovery, just going hard every single rep, whether that's in the weight room or on the court. And it's really just taking everything day to day and just growing together as individuals.
Okay, Cade, how about you? What have you learned?
Yeah, I would say really the same thing growing up each and every day. I think if we looked ahead and tried to look at this point in the season a few months ago, we probably wouldn't be here. Just focusing on each day, getting better in that time, in that moment.
Anybody else? You want to talk about the growth of the team? I know some of you have told me you've become very close throughout the season.
I think that plays a big part in it too. When we were struggling, when we really didn't know who we were as a team, we spent a lot of time off the court with each other, and that's just shown on the court now in our play style, and just the relationships we have off the court is really special as well.
This is Cougar Conversations. We're talking with the sophomores and getting them ready for this trip to the national tournament. I want to talk, guys, about Rule Cougar. This is your team culture. Every letter stands for a concept that you want to really adopt and live. You've told me on and off the court. What does this Rule Cougar culture mean to you now that you're headed to the national tournament? Is there one thing you're focusing on, or kind of looking at all of it?
I think
Go
you
ahead.
want to go, Mel?
Nah, go ahead. All you.
I think Rule Cougar, which if anybody doesn't know what it stands for, the R is relentless effort, and then unbreakable spirit, servant leadership, and then competitive excellence. So we talk a lot about how those things apply on the court, but they also apply off the court as well. So I feel like coach has really instilled in us to just keep going with those same principles, no matter what the situation is. I think now those principles are even heightened a little more now that we're going to the national tournament, but I don't think there's one that we're solely focusing on. I think all of them apply to the situation.
Mm-hmm. Milton, what did you want to say about Rule Cougar?
I mean, it was pretty much summed it up, but just to add on, you know, despite like all our success on the court, going into the national tournament, it's truly like this culture that we've built our whole entire season upon that's like keeping us grounded. So it's not as if we're just throwing that out the window. This is what's got us here, and like Lou said, it's even more heightened as we go into the natty.
Okay. Anyone else want to say something about Rule Cougar? Maybe something you've learned yourself as you've gone through this season. You're all good. Okay. This is Cougar Conversations. We're talking with the sophomores today. And guys, you have Cougar fans that are supporting you all over the world, actually. What message do you have for Cougar Nation?
I would just say is thank you, really. I know a lot of us have people back home that are consistently watching as many games as possible. And I think that means a lot because it's having to support back home, the support here. And so I just thank you to everyone. And we hope to represent not only our program, but the people that care about us as we're on the floor at the national tournament.
Does anyone have family members that are going to make the trip?
I do. Both my parents are going to make it out to Montana.
Awesome. Hopefully they're flying, right?
They are. They chose to fly.
I would hope so. I don't know how many hours it would take to drive to Montana, but don't think I want to do it. Anybody else have family members, or are they just going to be trying to catch the stream and tuning in?
Yeah, Montana's way too far for my family right now.
Yeah.
They'll watch it online.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you, as sophomores, okay, tell us about your team leadership and how they have motivated all of you to keep fighting this season. Because, you know, you've got one year under your belt, but here you are in the second year. So talk about how those leaders of the team have kept you motivated.
I think we have some older guys who have been through it before, been through a whole season. Like even most of us here, last year our season was shortened, so we haven't been through a whole season. So just like Ricky, he just keeps us, you know, level-headed and keep going. So grateful for him. I have a great leader like him.
Anybody else?
I think a lot of guys have stepped into a leadership role vocally, but as well as just setting the tone by example. We have guys in practice who won't say a whole lot, but their demeanor and just the way they do things sets the example and sets the expectation for the remainder of practice. I think that's just been a consistent throughout the season that has helped us grow into the position we're in.
Now, we have quite a few freshmen on the team, so there were new faces, really faces in all different classes this year. So for you guys as sophomores, how was it to even take on a leadership role yourselves?
I'm smiling so much because I love our freshmen. They've really been easy to get along with. They listen well. So I feel like for us as sophomores, it's easy to step into that leadership role and just guide them and just learning how college basketball works now that we have a better idea of it as sophomores.
This is Cougar Conversations. We're talking with the sophomore class from our MVNU men's basketball team. Okay, you're taking on, help me, is it Carroll? Is Carroll University? I think they're a university. Have you been watching tape on them? You've been watching games? Yeah. Okay. Any secrets you can give us? Any keys to the game as you're getting prepared? I don't know anything about this team. Anybody?
We don't want to share too much yet, you know.
Right. Exactly. Just okay. Well, we'll just say you'll know what to do when you hit the court. Is that just what you want to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Just leave it at that. All right. Okay, it's time for some rapid fire. So I'm just going to ask a question. I'm going to say a name so that I don't have just one or two of you talking. Okay. So Carter, we're going to start with you. What is the must-have snack for the Cougars? And this is something you're going to pack or want to pack for this trip.
For me individually, it's got to be hot Cheetos.
Okay.
For the team, the Scooby-Doo fruit snacks.
Okay. Anybody else? Individually, you're going to pack this snack before you leave?
I always need some trail mix. I always need my trail mix on a road trip. Mill can attest to that.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm just gonna second Uzi on that one. Trail mix is essential.
Do you guys like the typical trail mix or any different flavors? Because I know they have sweet and they have the what?
There's already too much going on in regular trail mix. I don't need anything more.
Okay. All right. How about you, Cade, Clay? What do you like?
I just need some sunflower seeds, really. And I'm cool. I know Uzi's the same. We think alike in that category.
I don't really have anything specific. Honestly, I pretty much just eat whatever works for me. I'm not too picky. So.
Okay. How about music? Do you guys have any kind of special music that you're using for warm-ups or in practice that's getting you pumped up?
Yeah, so I'd like to take the time to plug Ricky and his homemade studio. A lot of the guys on the team have taken some time to make a song, and we've listened to those before games and stuff. And we have some fun
wait a minute. Actually recorded a song?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, is there any way that I can get a copy of this?
It's not open to public yet, but MJ Skates is absolutely filthy in the studio. Just like to say
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So which player brings the most humor to your team? Anybody want to take that? Who's the comedian?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the Eric Uzinski. He always keeps everyone on their toes, no matter where we're at, what situation we're in, any time of the day. You just never know what's gonna come out of his mouth, and I know we all enjoy it. So yeah, I think it's Eric by far.
Okay. How about which player is the most dramatic? Anybody want to take that, or go ahead?
Kyle Kegley.
Kyle Kegley.
Out of love. Out of
Somehow
love.
I can
Kyle
see
Kegley.
that. I can see that. Okay. Who is the last person on the bus for road trips? Who do you think is going to be the last to show up when you leave for the airport? Just be honest.
I'm gonna go with Guy, probably. Big Guy.
Okay. Okay. How about who's the first? Who's the early bird?
Ryan Wolf.
Ryan Wolf.
Student
Okay.
assistant Ryan Wolf.
All right. Okay, guys, is there anything special that you do when you're going on road trips? Because this is the ultimate road trip to the national tournament. Any kind of special routine? Because I've been told that Coach has a routine and he likes to stick with his routine.
He does like to stick to his routine, but even when we went down to Florida, there were some times where we went out and did some fun things like go to the beach or go down and walk around Miami a little bit. So I'm sure he'll be able to carve out some time on this trip, especially Montana with the mountains. Hopefully we'll hike up into them a little bit. That would be fun.
That would be. Okay, well, guys, we're really excited for you. Just want to ask one final question. How can we pray for you and the team as you make this trip? I mean, we're definitely going to be praying for traveling mercies, but how can we pray for you specifically as you're looking for this special time for the team? Somebody's got to take that. Go ahead.
I think, especially for safe travels, safety on the court, but just through whatever the outcome, whatever the result, that we would exemplify our community, our university, our team, and just give glory to God through it all.
Well, it has been really exciting to see you throughout this season and to see the growth that has happened on and off the court. I wish you the best. What I wish for you most, guys, is that you'll be able to cherish this moment with all of your players. I know this is just our sophomore class, but you've got a great team. But this is a moment in time that is very special and will never happen with this same group again. So cherish it and treasure it. And when you get out there, just have fun. Just let God work through you and play for your teammates and play as a great Cougar. And we wish you the best. And we hope that we are going to continue to talk about more and more games. But Friday night is the first one against Carroll University. So go Cougars. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Cougs, baby.